Hello and welcome. Welcome to our podcast. Episode 3.
Three. I can't believe we've made it this far.
I genuinely can't believe it.
A lot of struggles, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Many ups and downs.
To episode 3.
We are here.
Let's go.
Let's get into it.
Let's just start obsessions. What are our weekly obsessions? Paige, you go first.
Okay. My obsession for this week is the winter edition of Red Bull. I am such a Red Bull girl. I am a Red Bull girl over any other energy drink. I think Monsters are way too sweet. I tried Gurus. They're way too sweet. I like some yerba mate, but it's hard to find. At least for me. Like, I have to, search around for it a little bit if I want it. And so I'm a Red Bull stan. I really liked this past... I'm getting into it. Really liked this past summer edition. Also... really miss the coconut berry Red Bull, which is controversial, but it was a summer edition a while ago.
Okay, I'm not a Red Bull drinker. Actually, I don't like Red Bull. So what? Explain the additions. Are they just a limited edition flavor?
Yeah, so they'll come out with winter flavors and summer flavors, and then every now and then they'll come out with a different flavor, and sometimes I stay. Usually the winter and the summer ones are gone after the summertime. So this past summer, it was apricot strawberry. It was so good. And now this winter edition one, I'm literally giving them free promo.
You really are. Not sponsored.
No, not at all. This winter edition is pomegranate.
Why are you pointing?
The door is open.
Oh.
I was trying to get someone's attention, hey guys, let's shut the door. Yeah, but that is my obsession of this past week. Okay. Maybe a little bit longer, but.
Okay, controversial. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Red Bull, first of all, do you like the original flavor of Red Bull? I need to know this. Because I think it tastes like piss. I don't know if I can say that. I feel like that's fine. Piss.
Yeah, I think that's fine. No, yeah. I didn't like the original flavor, but I feel like I've gotten accustomed to it. Also, very adult thing to say right now, but I mix it with my drinks. So I can't really drink the original flavor anymore because I just feel like there should be something else in it.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
My obsession of the week was actually, it developed over this past weekend. It's this Canadian show. My roommate introduced it to me because it's called The Next Step. I don't know if anyone in this room... Okay. Everyone in this room is nodding their head. I've never heard of this show because my roommate, her name is Vienne, she was like, oh, have you seen The Next Step? She was talking about it to me. And I was like, I don't know what this is. So typically when I don't know what something is and I'm talking to someone here about it, I just assume it's Canadian. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. It is Canadian.
That's just typically how it works. And it's filmed in Toronto and she made me start watching it with her because the first season's on Netflix. And oh my God, that show... Unreal. First of all, all the Toronto exterior shots are hilarious to me. The shots are of Dundas, mm-hmm. Which anyone who lives in Toronto knows. Okay. And basically, yeah, it's just these teenage dancers. I mean, you guys have all seen it, but I'm explaining for those who haven't. Normal people. They're all these teenage dancers at this dance studio. So it's a lot of it reminded me of Dance Moms, but it's all scripted. They have the confessionals, but the drama, it's so manufactured in a way I can't explain. We watched 10 episodes on Sunday. It was I'd never been shows like that. We were just sitting on our couch watching The Next Step for hours. So that's my obsession of the week. I think it's just a hilarious concept of it. Just there are so many shows that no one knows about, basically.
I have crazy stories about the people on those shows. I know, not personally, I know so many of them. I know I talked about it already, but I did competitive dancing. So if you look actually on this freaking screen over here at these people, we'll pop it in for the visuals. But basically, Giselle, the girl at the bottom, and the guy above her are married. I've met both of those people because they both taught me at a dance workshop. The girl beside Giselle, I forget her name. Chloe. She taught my sister at a dance workshop. So did Giselle. The girl above went to a dance studio that I've competed against at dance competition. Same with Michelle. And the guy in the middle, Eldon, my friend matched with on Tinder.
Oh.
And he is literally insane.
Oh, I believe that.
Like, so crazy.
No, like,
she went on a date with him. It was crazy. I have so many stories about these people because they're like so, first of all, being a competitive dancer and competing and stuff like that, like the dance like background stuff that goes on with that is insane. So I know them through that, but also because it was a Canadian show filmed here. Mm-hmm. Like, they were just, like, people, too. Like, I have friends that knew them from, like, high school and stuff.
And
it was so weird.
Is, like, anytime I bring the show up, like, me and all my I have 2 other roommates, and, well, 2 roommates total. And we were all talking about it, and my roommate Ada's like, oh, yeah, like, it was all filmed here. Like, I know people that were on it. Like, everyone who was from the GTA or, like, Ontario in general who, like, was in dance and stuff knows all these people, and I just think it's so funny.
Oh yeah, because she was a dancer too.
Yeah, Ada danced as well. So
yeah, we
all have our little connections, but
we really do.
Watch the next step. Only the first season's on Netflix, which is upsetting because we're almost done with it, and apparently there are 8 seasons, and I intend on watching.
Is it on? Oh no, because it was a Family Channel show, so I don't know if it would be.
I think it's on like CBC, like the CBC streaming app or whatever. So I think we're gonna try to find it there. If not, I have my ways.
Mm-hmm.
I love piracy. Don't count me on that.
All right. Well, I guess those were our obsessions.
Yeah.
Our little stories of the week.
Now today's episode is going to be about dating.
Ooh.
Something that I don't do a lot of. I don't know about
Same.
you.
Oh my God. I hate dating.
I'm over it.
Literally, my mom texted me at the beginning of the year. I texted her. I was like, hey, Mom, going on a date tonight. And ever since then, she's been like, have you been on any dates? I'm like, no. And she's like, why not? No one interesting? I was like, I don't feel like it.
Yeah, like, first of all, going on a date in itself is such an ordeal. Such an ordeal. Like, I hate small talk so much. Mm-hmm. So much. I don't, like, and especially just, like, I don't know. I hate, like, forced interactions like that. And I feel like that's the vibe on a first date.
That is the vibe.
You're getting to know each other, which makes sense, but I hate when it's forced.
Also, like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, every date I've been on, I haven't, this is gonna sound awful. Everyone I've been interested in my life has never taken me on a date. And everyone that I've been on a date with, I've been like, okay, let me give it a chance. So I've never really been on a date where I'm like, ooh, I really like this.
I mean, okay, have you ever been on a date that wasn't from a dating app?
No.
Okay.
I have not, because everyone that I've like I said, been interested in has never taken me on a date. Okay. And then, like, I don't really talk to people. I also, like, don't have dating apps right now, though, either.
Oh, explain.
So, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you asked because I wanted to get into this a little bit. So, I feel like there's definitely a superiority complex with dating apps and, like, having them and not having them, too. There's definitely people out there who are like, I don't have a dating app and that makes me better than you. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to lie. Sometimes I'm, like, embarrassed about having a dating app. But also, like, it's so fun to swipe through people, but also, like, that fun, like, kind of, like, diminishes after a while.
Yeah. And also, once you, like, really think about it, swiping through people is very weird to me. You know what I mean? Like...
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. One time I saw, like, a TikTok or, like, a post or something that was talking about how with the internet, we are just exposed to so many people. Like, we see so many people, and that makes it harder for people to commit in relationships. I don't know if this is proven. I'm just, like... Mm-hmm. This is just something I saw, so don't quote me on this. But it's harder for people to commit in relationships because they feel like there might be better options because we've seen so many people and we know there are, like, all these good-looking people out there, you know? Mm-hmm. So, like, just with even Instagram, not even Tinder or anything like that.
Also, like, with dating, like, bad experiences happen, you know? And then you're, like, seeing this profile of someone and you're like, oh, they're really cute, but they listen to this band that I know that this person that I talked to listened to, and that person sucked. So I'm not going to match with this person because they have bad music artists. Or like, oh, I knew I know people that are like Scorpios, and I am against being around a Scorpio that much. Like, you just kind of like psych yourself out, but you don't actually know anything about the person. So then it's like,
it's so superficial. Like, it's all just like basic information.
So true. What's your favorite dating app?
My favorite dating app, I like it. It changes, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
because there are different types of people on each dating app. Is what I've definitely noticed.
Yes.
Like, Tinder's kind of a mess. It's like everyone in the room's laughing. Tinder's like just a very interesting. I don't know.
It's also like
mesh
the
of people.
first dating app that you get.
Yeah.
It's like everyone knows about it.
Okay, like turning 18, there's really nothing that you get with turning 18. Like, at least, like, okay, like when you turn 19, you can partay. When you turn 20, you're in your 20s, and in the States, when you turn 21, like, oh my god, now you can party, whatever. So like turning 18 was a really weird thing, because it's like, oh, I'm an adult now, but I don't really get anything out of it. So like, I just waited to get Tinder when I turned 18, because I was like, and a lot of people get it when they're like 17 and lie, which is bad, and you get banned for doing that. But I was like, no, I'm gonna wait, so I have something to look forward to when I'm 18. So like, on my 18th birthday, I downloaded the like, it was just Tinder and Bumble. Hinge wasn't really like a big thing where I'm from, like, at all. And I feel like Hinge is for like not older people, but like you know what I mean though. Like, when you're like 18 and still in high school, you're not on Hinge.
No,
like,
I didn't have when I was because my town was so small. Like Hinge, Bumble, anything other than Tinder, not it.
Right.
Like no one's on it at all, which is so different here.
Yeah, it is very
so different here.
But also, there's more people here, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, so, like, you get Tinder first, you're like, okay, and then you're just kind of, it's just, like, with you, I feel. Like, I'm still on Tinder,
Yeah,
I guess,
it's like a
but,
backup resort.
I've only been on, like, one date from Tinder. Like, most of my dates come from Hinge, I feel like. Because the prompts, they're better to, like, get to know people. Marcus is making a face right now at us.
Yeah, I would genuinely say Hinge is the best dating app. I'm going to be honest. I like Hinge. I think first of all, it's hilarious. It's so fun to swipe through. All of those audio messages, like when people try to be funny, like it's funny because they're not funny. Like it's just enjoyable the whole time. And also, I have not to be that like person who only cares about like looks, but the hottest people I feel like are on Hinge for me. I have Bumble. And I deleted Bumble. Bumble feels like...
You know who I saw on Bumble? Aaron Hull.
Me too. I saw him on Tinder and Bumble. And also, he didn't match with me. What's up with that, Aaron Hall? I'm calling you out, Aaron Hall.
I'm not gonna lie. Immediately, I texted my friends and I was like, oh my god, I saw Aaron Hall, who's a TikToker, for those who don't know. But, like, I had a crush on him in high school, so I was like, okay. I texted my friends. I was like, oh my god, Aaron Hall. And also, he dated Emma Chamberlain.
Yeah, and the way he talked about her... I did not like that. He used to live stream and stuff, so that kind of, like, turned me off of him. That's when I stopped, like, caring about him, actually.
Right. But I saw him on Bumble, I think, and I texted my friends, and I was like, oh my god, like, Aaron Hall, that's so crazy. They were like, oh, like, see if you match. And I was like, he dated Emma Chamberlain. I am not his type. Like, let's be real right now, guys. Let's be real.
He... You know who I did match with, though? Hamza.
Me as well.
And I feel very good about that. Because, like, what a funny guy.
He never messaged me back.
I have a feeling that he is, like, terrified of that stuff. He comes across as someone who's, like, actually very terrified of a lot of things. I'm sorry. Okay. He's not going to hear these.
Yeah.
Aaron Hall and, like, Hamza, they're not going to hear this.
Hopefully not. They're lurking near us, though. They could be anywhere.
They could be anywhere in Toronto.
I'm just saying.
Hamza
like,
lives
videos on our campus sometimes.
Yeah.
So anyway, little side thing.
Yeah, but with talking about favorite dating apps, I actually have a story with Hinge too. I have a super fun story about Hinge, and it's called "I Got Permanently Banned from Hinge." And I'm to this day, I'm really upset about it.
Yeah.
I'm really upset about it because it's my favorite dating app. Like, it's so fun. Like, people are so funny on there. And I got banned because I was talking to this guy and I was on a night out and we were messaging and I was like, what I would do for a pizza right now. He was like, send me your PayPal and I'll get you a pizza. And then I sent him my PayPal and just like that, My Hinge was gone forever. Heartbreaking. Heartbreaking moment.
What happened to chivalry?
Yeah. Yeah. Can a man pay for a woman's meal?
Chivalry is dead. Because of you, Hinge.
Screw you, Hinge. And on Bumble, you have to, like, message them first. And, like, sometimes I ain't got nothing to say. Your profile's boring.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have anything funny to say to you. You're hot.
That's what, like, the weird thing about Hinge and Bumble is Bumble has, like, they both have the same things on there. Like, they both have the prompts, but for some reason, Hinge is so much more engaging.
Exactly.
I don't know.
Something else that I saw on Hinge, because this really proves that Hinge is funnier. It was like a prompt, and I saw this guy, and I was like, this guy's pretty cute. And his prompt was like, what's like the most embarrassing story you have? And his embarrassing story, he put this on Hinge, so I'm allowed to say this out loud, because that's like open to the public. He said that one time he got an Uber, and he pooped himself in the Uber, and he felt so bad that he gave the Uber driver his entire wallet and then got out and left. And I think that's like the best story I think I've ever heard on Hinge.
You put that on his Hinge?
I think that's hilarious. Like, I was like, this is quality, and yes, I am swiping right. Like, that is so funny to me.
That's really unfortunate that happened. I don't really put, like, information like that about myself.
I think that, like, I think on my Bumble, like, my Bumble prompts were like, what are something you're really upset about? And it's like, I said, like, Fleabag ending, which I am upset about. Like, the fact that they discontinued that, like, what the heck? Right after The Priest, too?
I don't watch Fleabag, I'm sorry.
The Priest.
All right.
Let's move on.
Oh, random story that I don't, like, have written down or anything, but actually my mom and my stepdad met on a dating app. And they've been married for a while. They have a 6-year-old, 5-year-old, whatever. I don't know how old he is.
Louise.
Yeah, they met on, I think it was called, like, Plenty of Fish. Like, a random one. Yeah? Plenty of Fish is, it's like, I feel like, okay, like, Plenty of
Lydia
Fish.
knows Plenty of Fish.
Like, Plenty of Fish and, like, Christian Mingle, like, those are such, like, 40-year-old dating apps. You know what I mean? Like, those are, like, the original dating websites. So it makes sense. But, yeah, they met on Plenty of Fish, and I'm pretty sure they, like, went fishing as one of their first dates, which I think is funny. I don't think it's, like,
That's,
on
like,
purpose.
insane.
Yeah.
If someone asked me to go on a first date and go fishing, I'm sorry, I would not go.
Okay, Indiana. Like...
Yeah, I'm from, like, Pembroke, and, like, every man that fishes in Pembroke, I don't want to be near.
Yeah.
No offense. But, like...
Offense.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Sorry, guys.
Yeah, so we actually, on our Instagram, we asked people to submit some dating stories. So, I have one already, like, pulled up. This is from my best friend, Lindsay. She was going out with this guy for a while, and, he offered to buy her lunch, and then, in front of the cashier, got upset with her for getting a drink. And this was at Chipotle. Like, it wasn't, like, an expensive restaurant, and he got upset with her. So that's one story that I really... like, what?
That is actually insane to me.
Can you, like, what would you even say to that?
That is literally, like, insane to me, actually. Like, what do you... Like...
It's like $2.
That's, like, so awkward, too.
Yeah.
That's so
awkward. In front of the cashier.
awkward.
Imagine being the cashier.
Imagine being her, though. Like, being shamed for getting a drink.
Yeah.
That would, like, trigger so much in me. I would be like, why are you... What is going on? I never want to talk to you again.
Yeah. They're not together anymore, so...
That's really good.
Thank God.
That's really, really good. One of my favorite stories is from my friend. And they told me that their boyfriend went on a date with a person, and during the date, the person that her boyfriend was on a date with was picking up cigarettes off the side of the road, used cigarettes off the side of the road, and then smoking them, and then also drinking drinks that were half drank left at the bar during the date. And then, about 6 months later, this is a long story, about 6 months later, they were like on a date, like my friend and their boyfriend were on a date, and that same girl that was picking up cigarettes came up to them at the park and yelled at their boyfriend for ghosting them on the date.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a very...
I can't believe you would, like, approach someone 6 months after when they're with someone else. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's very, 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 very weird.
Very awkward. Why'd you ghost me? Maybe because you were, like, picking used cigarettes off of the ground.
Do you have any, like, weird date stories, personally?
Oh, you know I do.
I know
She said,
know.
I'm setting this one up. So, this was a Hinge date.
Ooh.
And I saw this guy, and he, like... Is it super liking on Hinge? I don't know. It's, like, one of those things.
Oh,
you know, like...
rose.
Oh, yeah. I got sent a rose like The Bachelor. And so I was like, okay, like, let me check out this person's profile, actually. Like, let me, like, not judge them too quick. And then I saw that they were wearing a band t-shirt. And the band t-shirt was my favorite band. And they were playing guitar on a stage wearing a band t-shirt of my favorite band. And it was the band's name before they became the band. So it was Drive Like I Do, which is the 1975's band name, blah, 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 beforehand. So I was like, he knows what's up. So I was like, I'm going to give him like a good old fat chance, right? And he's messaging me kind of weirdly, but I'm like, okay, like I'm still going to go on a date with this guy. I'm not going to cancel last minute. So he drives to Toronto from like... I don't know where it was, but it was like an hour and a half drive in. And he literally, during the date, keeps me like in his vehicle the entire time. And then brings me to like the Toronto Lookout, you know, like kind of on the island where you can like see the CN Tower and stuff. But then it was like too snowy and windy. So like we got out for a second and then got back in the vehicle. And then there was construction, so I was trapped in this vehicle until, like, 1 a.m. with this random stranger. And during then, he had the time to let me know that he went through my Instagram to find my mom's comments on my Instagram photos. And then he saw that she had the same last name as me and connected the dots and assumed that she was my mom. And then went onto her Instagram profile to double check. And then through there, went onto Facebook and searched up my mom's name on Facebook. And then through there, he found my Facebook and had saved photos of me when I was like 13 and like 12 on his phone.
Ruh-roh.
And I was just stuck in this vehicle with this man. And there was one point where we had to, like, pull up beside the cops because of construction so that he could, like, get onto the road to, like, get me home. And he was, like, the cops pulled up, and I was, like, looking at the cop, and I was like, hey, you better, like, keep an eye out, okay? Like, if this girl goes missing, you talk to me. We're making eye contact right now. Like...
Witness.
Come on. But that was a very scary moment in my life. And he was like, oh, I just like had them to like, oh, and you know what else he did? I blocked him obviously after the date because I was like, that's like terrifying. And I was a minor and that's so scary. I blocked him, and then 4 weeks later, not 4 as in the number, but like progressively weeks later for a while, he would find me through his business Instagram and DM me and say, why'd you block me? Did I do something wrong? Please, like, unblock me. I'll make a better date. And then he, like, messaged me through Facebook. And, like, just, like, it was so... So that's my bad dating story.
That's, like, actually awful.
Yeah, that's the worst one.
Yeah.
That's definitely the worst one.
Okay. Mine isn't as bad.
Maybe we should have let you go first.
Yeah, maybe. It's okay. Typically, I don't know. I don't like first dates. I actually despise them, as I've said before. But, so I don't really go on first dates often anymore, really. But this was in high school, and I don't even know if it was considered a date at the time, but I'm gonna call it one because we were, like, talking, whatever. Anyway, so it was a Sunday. I remember it was a Sunday because I would always close at my job on Sundays. And I was like, I'm gonna, like, be bold and, like, ask this guy out because I like him or whatever. So I made the move and was like, I'm gonna ask you out, whatever. And then he's like, okay, pick me up. Man does not have his license. Red flag number 1. Does not have his license or a car. I have to go pick him up. So I'm like, okay, like, whatever. Like, I go from work, like, a 15-minute drive to go pick him up. And I was like, oh, we can go to Sonic, which Sonic is, like, the best place in the world if you don't know. It's, like, a drive-in thing, and you, like, pull up. There's menus everywhere anyway. And I always go and get a grape slush with nerds. That's my order. And matzo sticks. Grape slush with nerds for the win. Don't even judge. Don't knock it till you try it.
Okay, I won't.
Don't.
However, artificially flavored grape is, like, insane to me.
Yeah, but with nerds... With nerds, it goes bonkers, okay?
Okay, I'll let you have that.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, I got my grape slush with nerds. We're there, whatever. And he was acting really weird, like, already. I don't even think I got my matzo sticks. I was, like, really nervous, so I was like, I'll just get my slushie or whatever. So I get my slushie. He gets, like, a full, like, 5-course meal. Didn't offer to, like, pay for me or anything, even though I just got a slushie. It's fine. It was, like, $5. But he got, like, a chicken sandwich and, like, onion rings and, like, a milkshake. And I was like, okay, this is weird. Like, that's a bit weird after, because I ordered first and then you're gonna order all that. Like, that's weird. Then, as we're, like, talking, I slowly start to realize that he is under the influence of a substance.
Oh,
that makes
yeah.
you a lot. He had the munchies, but didn't tell me, and I like asked about it, and he was like, oh, like, yeah, I'm also, like, he was all, I don't know what I'm about to say, to be honest.
Okay, then don't.
Yeah, so he was under substances, multiple, I'll say that, and was just, like, being really weird, and then I just remember I was like, oh, songs I think he'll like to, like, play in the car, because I was so nervous. Like, this is me, like, texting and driving, sorry. On my way to his house, like, making a playlist for us to hang out to, whatever. And then he doesn't say anything about any of the songs until a Lil Peep song comes on.
Oh.
Lil Peep comes on, and he's like, oh, I love this song, and, like, turned it up. And I was like, I literally was sitting there and was like, okay, I want to go home. So I finished my grape slush with nerds, and I'm like, okay, are you, like, ready to go home? And he's like, I don't want to go home. Do you want to drive around? No, I don't
Not
want
with
to
you.
drive around. He like, was just, like, sitting there, like, literally not saying anything, really, except he went on this whole tangent about how he loves doing martial arts because he loves, like, making people pass out. Like... Like, he loves karate or taekwondo.
Wow.
I think it was taekwondo, not karate. Sorry, that was...
Taekwondo.
Yeah. He loves
Actually,
taekwondo.
I can't even do that. I can't even say that
Yeah,
because I definitely have liked someone who was into that.
Me fully sitting there, and he's like, yeah, I like, love making people pass out. I was like, I don't know about that. Let's go home. And he was like, no, let's not go home. And we ended up arguing about something, but then he wouldn't let me take him home. Like, I fully drove probably, I think it was, like, I don't even know, like, 15 to 20 miles, just, like, driving around my, like, small hometown because he wouldn't let me take him home, which is it was so weird. I was like, please let me take you home. And I also, like, after we were fighting, and then I just kind of, like, looked at him and stopped talking and was, like, driving, and I would not, like, look at him or talk to him, and he was like, why are you mad at me right now? Like,
are you mad at me?
Like, genuinely, like, me in my red Kia Soul, and, like...
Oh,
and,
that
like,
makes it so much more insane.
Yeah, this all happened in a red Kia Soul, over the span of, like, I was probably with him for, like, 3 hours on a school night, and...
Oh my gosh, that's literally how mine went. It was so long, like 3 hours. This is supposed to be half an hour.
And, like, I can't reiterate enough how much I kept saying, like, oh, are you ready to go home? And he was like, no. was like, okay, like, I guess I can't, like, make you go home. But looking back, I could. Literally was at the wheel.
That's such a high school thing, though, like, feeling like you can't.
And also, like, this was, like, end of high school, and in high school I didn't date, like, at all, so I was still, like, very inexperienced with dating and stuff, and just, like, putting my foot down at that type of thing. But anyway, I get home, and I had come back to, like, 10 texts from one of my friends, who's like, oh my god, where are you? Because me and my friend group had a Life 360, like, circle, and she was watching me drive around. There's a screenshot, I will find it, don't worry, but there is a screenshot of my, like, trip, where I'm literally, like, driving around, like, it's, like, the biggest diagram of, like, where I drove ever, and my friend was watching it in real time.
Oh.
And she thought I was, like, kidnapped or something. But yeah, and I continued to talk to him after this. For, like... All right.
Lydia just, like, did the cat meme. You know that meme that's like...
Yeah. We're not all perfect, okay? It ended very horribly.
You know what? That's fine, because every single person I've been into, I have, like, actively still tried. Like, all the time. Like, that is my downfall.
I will say, I have Mans blocked. So, like, hopefully he won't, like, find this or anything. Like, he is fully blocked, because more things went down after that day. Duh. The seeds were planted, like, all the red flags are there, and I was just like, So,
All right. Well, we're, like, out of time.
I feel like we had a lot of good things, so maybe to be continued, we might talk about dating more, because I feel like there's always some good stories there.
There is so many good stories.
And bad. More bad, I would say.
A lot of bad stories, but also, like, so fun to, like, chat about with you guys.
All right, so I guess that's it.
That's it.
We'll see you next week.
We will. Check us out on Twitter and Instagram at podcast_IRL. If you want to watch us, because we do have a visual aspect, IRL podcast on YouTube. We will have all of our links also in our Instagram bio and underneath the YouTube videos.
Yeah, definitely follow us on Instagram. We post a lot of, like, behind-the-scenes stuff and memes. So
yeah, I like to make a lot of memes. Silly little goofy memes.
Some of them are interesting.
Edie doesn't like all of them.
And that's okay. Anyway, we're gonna go.
Thank you for being here. Bye.